If you're looking for a great RV for the family, but you don't want to break the bank, I think this right here is a solid choice. This is the 2025 Keystone Bullet Classic 2840 QB. And some of the things I love about it is the fact, one, it has a super slide with a U-shaped dinette, so you have some good seating as well as additional sleeping. You have 4 bunks in the back, and you have a ton of storage, both inside and out. Honestly, some of the most storage on the exterior I've seen for a bunk model travel trailer. Let's just kind of start off right over here on the kitchen setup. So one of the things you'll probably notice is the fact that this one does have a pressed countertop rather than a T-mold, so it is an upgrade from that. Not quite as nice as solid surface, but it is going to be lighter than a solid surface. Now, with this countertop, you can undermount, but they went with a composite sink. Again, this is going to be a little more budget friendly, a little more price sensitive. So they're saving a little bit of money where they can. So instead of an undermount stainless, went with a composite here. You do still get a high-rise faucet though. You have some prep space. You have some space right back here as well. There should be an electrical outlet. Is there one up there? Yeah, so you should have an electrical outlet right there. And that one is going to be pre-wired for an inverter because this one can have the option for the Solar Flex package with the inverter on there. So those outlets will be inverted, meaning you can run them off your battery without having shore power. Over to the side here, you will see the 3-burner recessed cooktop with a glass cover. So this is probably going to be your main prep space if you're not using it by having the cover down and just kind of prepping right on top of here. Underneath, you will see this one does have an oven. You have 2 drawers right here. These are going to be full extension. And then a little bit of storage area underneath that. Now, what I do like is the fact that underneath this sink, it's nice and open. There is plenty of room for a trash can, and there are doors on the other side, so you can access that from either side, which is pretty great because it does make it just a little bit easier to take trash out, right? Instead of taking it out here and going around, you can take it out on that side, go straight out the door. If we kind of go up top, you will see this kind of doubles as your entertainment space right here as well. And I think it is great placement because it's right across from the sofa. We'll see in just a bit. I would probably still get an articulating arm, so that way if you're sitting in the dinette and want to watch it, you can turn it on an angle. You'll have the microwave next to that, of course, the hood here as well. And then rounding out the kitchen is going to be our fridge freezer. This is an Everchill model, so this one is 12 volt. You're looking at 7 cubic foot on here. So, pretty good cold storage, all things being considered. Now, what you may have noticed is there isn't necessarily a pantry in the kitchen space, but that is where this comes in. So this is going to kind of be multi-purpose. I would personally use it as a pantry. If you want, you can use it for extra linen storage. You could use it for, I don't know, like some kids' clothes, but it'd be kind of weird placement. I think pantry is probably going to be the best use of space there. And I like that they were able to kind of fit that in. Let's go ahead and hit the super slide real quick. Then we'll hit the bathroom and the bunk room. So with the super slide, as I mentioned, you have a U-shaped dinette. Now, it's not going to be the widest dinette in the world. And what I mean by that is that, you're really only fitting probably 3 people here purely because of knees. If the seat came out more and you could slide over, you probably fit 2 people on this side. But realistically, you're going to have 1 here, 1 on the other side, and 1 person right here in the center. If you try to put 2 here, everyone's knees are going to be smashed into each other. But the nice thing about this U-Dinette is that when you drop it down, it is a big enough bed for a 6-foot adult to sleep in, no problem. So you do get that extra capability, which is really nice. You also see in the slide itself, you have plenty of windows, so that lets in some natural light. Right over here to the side is going to be a jackknife sofa. This also drops down into a bed. Not going to be big enough for a 6-foot adult, but it is going to be good for kids. And you can see underneath, the big advantage of a jackknife is it just gives you a ton of storage. So great spot for things like blankets, whether it's a throw blanket, a comforter, extra pillows, things like that. That's definitely where I would put it. As for the bathroom, it's going to be a side aisle bath here. I'll take a step in, take a seat on the toilet just to kind of show you space. I do have this pull right here. It's a little tight on my left leg. It's not going to be a deal breaker. It's just fine. As far as shoulders, again, I'm rubbing a little bit on the right. But again, I don't have any issues. I don't feel cramps despite touching in a couple points here. And a lot of the reason for that is because they cut this out, which I think was really smart. You do have a shelf here. Personally, I would probably put toilet paper on one side, towels on the other, because again, you don't have a dedicated linen closet in this space. You do have a little bit of space down on the floor as well if you want to put a little trash can down there, or if you don't want it to be seen, you want to tuck it away, you can put it under here as well. So you do have a couple different storage spots. I definitely think it is a workable bathroom. Stepping into the shower, at 6 foot tall, I do touch the top right here. So if you're any taller than that, you are going to have to duck down. Even at 6 foot, I'm probably going to duck slightly. The nice thing about the shower is the fact it does have a tankless water heater in here. So that means you can basically have unlimited hot water, which is fantastic. As long as you're hooked up to city water, you can just run that sucker as long as you want. You'll be good to go. It does reset every 20 minutes. So you have to hit the button. But again, a 20-minute shower is pretty darn good. And then when we step in the back, right, this is kind of the main point of the whole floor plan. That is the rear bunk room. You have 4 bunks back here, USB ports, lights, USB A and C, by the way, so you can do some fast charging there. The USB ports will be on the bottom. You'll see that you have hookup for TV right up top. So if you want a TV in the bunk room, you can have that. Some additional storage right here as well. So that's pretty good storage there. And you have storage down under this bunk. Now, you'll see that the drawers aren't super deep, but that's because we have a ton of outside storage. We'll see that when we go out there. Then you also have this storage area that opens up, which I personally really enjoy. There are a few things I do want to mention. One of them is the fact that you have a second AC in here. So you do have 2 ACs to make sure things stay nice and cool. But it's not just going to be about the kids' room. It's going to be where you're going to sleep as well. And that's what we have right up here in the bedroom. Now, you will see you have slider doors. So you can, go ahead and close these for privacy. Magnetic latch there right in the center. And then up front is going to be that RV queen bed. And then right on the side here, one of the things I do like about this is a nice big nightstand, right? It's an actual top. A lot of times for these nightstands, it'll just be a panel that if you go to put any weight on, you're going to push through it. That's not the case here. And again, you can see that you have inverted outlets. So if you have a CPAP machine and you get that inverter edition, then you'll be all set with that, even without shore power. You also have a shelf back here, and that's going to be meant for putting, your CPAP machine or phones or whatever. It has a little grommet there, a little hole so you can run your cords down. You'll have wardrobe on both sides, very functional wardrobe. You also have some storage up top. I do like the fact that it's covered rather than just having a shelf. I think that makes it way more usable space. You can put underwear and things like that in there that, you just don't want showing. Underneath the bed, there is additional storage. You can see that, it is framed out in aluminum. I like that as well. Just a little bit better components here as far as build quality. And last thing I want to touch on is if you do want a TV, there's a spot to mount it on the wall right over there. All right, let's take a look at some of the outside features in the 2025 Keystone Bullet Classic 2840 QB. Starting off right up front here, you'll see this one has a powered tongue jack. That does make it a lot easier to level front and back. Also a lot easier to hook up and disconnect from your tow vehicle. 2 20-pound propane tanks with a cover behind that. You'll see the rails for your battery. There is enough space for 2 batteries there, which is nice. You'll also see the battery disconnect, so that way you can kill all power to the coach. You have the diamond plating, helping protect that front end. Smooth aluminum front, and something new for the 2025 model year, they have what they call the edge lighting right here with the LED light strips. I do think it looks really sharp. I think that's a great addition on their front end. Coming around to the side, I do want to point out that it has a magnetic catch on here, which I enjoy. If we take a look inside, you will see that it's very clean. They do a really good job. Of course, you can see the aluminum structure in here, but I like that everything is just taken care of and finished off. You will notice your control for your lights up front, that it is dimmable on those light strips. USB ports there as well, plus you have the motion sensor light. On the other side is going to be prepped for the solar controller again, because if you have the solar up top, you want solar charge controllers that can take care of all of that. Speaking of up top, you will see the power awning. It's a nice big awning on there. Has a LED light strip as well. Just touch a button to roll that guy out. Same thing to go back in. Your main entry here is going to have a tempered glass door. The thing I really like about these tempered glass doors is there's actually a window right here. Because it's so tinted, it's kind of tough to see. But you will notice right there that it has the window. It also is prepped for the shade. So if you want that additional privacy at night, you can have that installed nice and easy. Standard steps to get in and out. The really nice thing about these steps, though, is if you have a patio at your campsite, if you have something a little more seasonal, you can fold these up. You don't have to remove anything like you do the folding ones. Make our way back a little bit further. This is something I should have pointed out inside. The fact this is a 30,000 BTU furnace. That is a big furnace for a travel trailer, folks. That's something you normally see in a bigger fifth wheel. That's pretty darn impressive. It will help keep things a little bit warmer during the fall when temperatures start to drop. You also see a spot to mount a TV here. Connections for that will be out here. And again, this outlet is pre-wired for that inverter if you so choose. Black tank flush is always a great thing to have. Just makes it easier to wash out the black tank. But the most impressive part about the outside of this RV is right here. Yes, we had a big pass-through storage up front. Take a look at all this storage in the back. You have this massive space. There is an outlet in there as well. So if you have like power tools or anything you need to charge, you can do that. And you have pass-through storage in the back. This is something that's reminiscent of like a small Class C, right? At a Class C motorhome where you have the storage in the back underneath the bed. I've never seen this before in a travel trailer. I think it's honestly just a great use of the space, giving you a lot more external storage, which when you have kids, trust me, you're going to want. You also see that you have the tire mounted on the back, the spare there, so it's nice and easy to get to. 50 amp detachable power cord plugs in here because you don't have a bumper. They gave you this little space right there. You can unscrew that. It's a spot to store your sewer hose. If you take a look up top, you'll also see this one has backup camera prep. It's a pretty decent sized travel trailer. Might not be a bad idea to go ahead and get that. And again, having that prep makes it a whole heck of a lot easier to install. Definitely a DIY thing. Coming around to the back, again, you can see the utility side. You can see even more storage over here. Not quite as deep as the camp side, but still great storage. And you also have access to that pass-through. Up front in front of the slides are going to be your water hookups as well as the tankless water heater. If you like this one and you're wondering what the price is or where you can pick it up, there'll be a link in the description. Thanks again for watching. I'm Ian Baker. Until next time, we'll see you.